Did you know that 99% of dog owners are making the same dangerous feeding mistake right now, and most of them don't even know it? Every single year, thousands of dogs suffer from silent stomach issues, chronic anxiety, and even shortened lifespans because of tiny, everyday food habits that we think are harmless. It is not just about the branded kibble you buy. It is about when you feed, how you feed, and the invisible routines you repeat every single day without thinking. Today, we are going to uncover the 9 hidden mistakes that could be silently hurting your best friend. And please, I beg you to stay with me until mistake number 6, because I guarantee it is the one you are guilty of too. And once you hear it, you will realize why your dog has been trying to tell you something for years. Let's make sure your dog isn't paying the price for our ignorance. Let's begin with the first mistake, and it is a big one. Feeding your dog only once a day. Picture this.
You wake up late, rushing through the morning. You grab the bag, pour a single giant mountain of food into the bowl, and think, there, that will keep him full all day. It feels practical. It feels efficient. Maybe even loving, like giving them a royal feast. But what if I told you that one big meal could actually be setting your dog up for discomfort, stress, and even long-term health problems? Here is the biological truth. A dog's stomach isn't built to handle that much food all at once. Imagine stuffing your backpack until the zipper almost bursts. That is exactly what happens inside their belly. Studies from the American Veterinary Medical Association show that dogs who eat just once a day have a higher risk of digestive issues, painful acid reflux, and even behavioral stress. Their stomach is overwhelmed for hours, working overtime to break down that mountain of food. And then, for the rest of the day, they run on empty. Their stomach acid builds up, and their body craves a balance that never comes. It is like leaving a car running with no gas in the tank. You wouldn't expect the engine to run smoothly, would you? Some dogs develop hunger pangs so sharp they start licking the floors or chewing the furniture. Others grow restless, pacing as if their body is screaming, "Feed me!" But we mistake it for bad behavior. We think they are just being annoying. They aren't being annoying. They are physically uncomfortable. Researchers at the University of Liverpool tracked feeding patterns and found that simply splitting meals into 2, morning and evening, changed everything. Dogs were calmer, less anxious. They showed healthier weight control. Think of it like giving your dog 2 small, warm fires instead of one big blaze that burns out too fast. The warmth lasts longer. So, the next time you reach for that bowl, remember, your dog doesn't need a feast. They need rhythm. They need a steady flow of fuel. Mistake number 2 is one we have all committed. Always feeding your dog from a bowl. Now, let me ask you something honest. When was the last time you really watched your dog eat? You probably filled the bowl, set it down, walked away to make coffee, and poof, in 2 minutes, it was gone, clean, empty. It feels efficient. But here is the hidden danger. By making food too easy, we have stripped away something vital from their life. Dogs weren't born to eat from ceramic bowls. Their ancestors spent hours tracking prey, sniffing trails, and solving nature's puzzles just to find a meal. That struggle wasn't cruel. It was stimulation. It kept their brains sharp and their instincts alive. When we replace that challenge with a shiny bowl, we might fill their stomach, but we starve their mind. Scientists at the University of Bristol found that dogs given puzzle feeders, or sniff mats, showed lower cortisol levels, that's the stress hormone, and less destructive behavior.
They were calmer, smarter, and less bored. Compare that to bowl-fed dogs who often become restless chewing shoes or barking nonstop. Not because they are bad dogs, but because they are bored out of their minds. Think of it like giving a smart child a tablet to watch cartoons all day. No books, no puzzles. They'd be quiet, but they wouldn't grow. The solution is simple and fun. Swap the bowl for a puzzle toy, like a Kong wobbler. Scatter kibble across a snuffle mat. Even roll food up in an old towel so they have to use their nose to unwrap it. Turn mealtime into a hunt. A meal that lasts 3 minutes in a bowl could last 15 minutes with a puzzle. That is 15 minutes of focused joy and mental peace. And if you think boredom is bad, wait until we talk about what happens when you feed your dog too much. Because mistake number 3 doesn't just affect their mood. It can steal years from their life. Mistake number 3 is overfeeding. You know that look. Your dog gives you the wide eyes, the tilted head, the gentle paw on your knee. It is almost impossible to resist. You scoop a little extra kibble. You slip a piece of cheese under the table. You tell yourself, just this once. But here is the hard truth. Those tiny extras add up like drops of water filling a bucket. Before long, the bucket overflows. And in dogs, that overflow is called obesity. The numbers are heartbreaking. More than 55% of dogs in the United States are overweight. That means over half of our best friends are carrying extra pounds that quietly crush their joints and strain their hearts. To us, a chubby dog looks cute, like a teddy bear. But inside the story is darker. Excess weight presses down on their hips, grinding bone against bone. It pushes against their lungs. It forces the heart to work double time just to pump blood. Veterinary studies show that obese dogs live lives up to 2.5 years shorter than lean dogs. Imagine losing 2 whole years of walks, cuddles, and love all because of a few extra snacks. Think of your dog's body like a backpack they must carry everywhere. When they are lean, the pack is light. But every extra treat is like slipping a heavy stone into that bag. Day after day, stone after stone, until they can barely run. The solution is precision. Measure their meals. Don't guess. If you give them training treats, subtract that amount from their dinner. Love isn't found in extra food. Love is found in giving them a body that feels light, strong, and pain-free. Now this next mistake is terrifying because it happens in the blink of an eye. Mistake number 4 is feeding your dog immediately before a walk or exercise. Picture this. Your dog finishes a big meal tail wagging. He looks full of energy. You think, perfect time for a run. You clip on the leash and head out, never realizing you may have just set the stage for one of the most deadly conditions a dog can face.
Here is the science. When a dog eats, blood rushes to the stomach to power digestion. The muscles rest. The organs focus inward. But the moment you start running or playing fetch, you pull that blood away from the stomach to the muscles. It's like forcing a construction crew to abandon a building halfway through. The result? Chaos. Veterinarians call it gastric dilatation volvulus, or bloat. The stomach swells with gas and then twists like a wet towel being wrung tight. It cuts off blood flow. It is agonizing, and without emergency surgery, it is fatal within hours. Large, deep-chested breeds like German Shepherds and Great Danes are most at risk, but any dog can suffer from this. Imagine blowing up a balloon, tying it in a knot, and shaking it violently. That is what happens inside them. And the cruel twist? Owners often don't recognize the signs until it is too late. The fix is simple. Flip the routine. Walk first, feed after. Give their stomach space to do its work. Experts recommend at least 30 minutes of rest before or after meals, and up to 2 hours if the exercise was heavy. Think of it like cooling down an engine before pouring in fuel. The sequence matters. Getting it wrong can cost everything. And if timing feels tricky, wait until we talk about the food itself. Mistake number 5 is ignoring the ingredients label. Walk down any pet store aisle. The bags are colorful. They shout, "Premium, all natural, healthy." The packaging features happy dogs running through meadows. You toss a bag in the cart, trusting the promise. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Not all food is created equal. Many commercial dog foods are the nutritional equivalent of fast food for humans. It fills the belly, but at what cost? Flip the bag over. Look at the first 5 ingredients. Do you see corn, soy, or wheat? These are cheap fillers. They bulk up the food, but offer very little nutrition. Imagine fueling a Ferrari with sugar water.
The tank looks full, but the engine sputters. That is your dog on low-quality kibble. And then look for the meat. Do you see meat by product or animal meal? That is a red flag. These terms often hide what is left over after the real meat is removed: beaks, feathers, hooves. Researchers at Tufts University warn that these byproducts can lack essential amino acids needed for heart health and muscle repair. Then look for the preservatives. Chemicals like BHA, BHT, or ethoxyquin have been linked to cancer in long-term studies. Contrast that with natural preservatives like vitamin E or rosemary extract. The difference is the gap between a ticking time bomb and real safety. The best foods list real ingredients: chicken, turkey, salmon, sweet potatoes, blueberries. Each word should read like a grocery list you trust. So the next time you grab that shiny bag, pause, turn it over, read the fine print. Because behind the pretty pictures, the truth is hiding in the list. This brings us to the one I warned you about. Mistake number 6 is not adjusting food for your dog's age. Think back to when your dog was a puppy. Tiny paws, sharp teeth, bounding energy. Back then, you fed them puppy food. But as they grew, did you adjust? Or are you still feeding the same generic adult kibble year after year? Puppies are engines running at full throttle. They need high protein, fat, and calcium to build bones. But senior dogs, their needs are completely different. Picture your senior dog. The muzzle is graying. The naps are longer. They no longer burn energy like wildfire. Instead, they are fighting invisible battles against arthritis, slowing metabolism and muscle loss. Older dogs need fewer calories but richer nutrients. They need higher quality protein to keep their muscles from wasting away. They need glucosamine for their joints. They need antioxidants to fight aging brain cells.
Research shows that senior dogs on age-appropriate diets maintain sharper minds and better mobility. Feeding a senior dog generic adult food is like handing a cane to a teenager. Or worse, refusing to give a cane to someone who needs it. It doesn't fit. It doesn't serve. It quietly harms. Your dog's age is a map, and their diet must follow the path. Don't let habit blind you. Choose puppy food for the young, adult formulas for the strong years, and senior blends for the wise ones. It is not just nutrition. It is respect for the body they carry through life. Mistake number 7 is not considering homemade or fresh food additions. Walk into your kitchen. Picture fresh chicken sizzling in a pan, steaming sweet potatoes, fresh blueberries. Now imagine sliding that plate down to your dog. Their eyes widen. Their tail thumps. It feels natural, doesn't it? Yet, most of us are terrified to feed human food, believing that processed kibble is the only safe option. But here's the twist. Done right, fresh food is a miracle. Commercial kibble is convenient, but it is processed at extremely high heat to sit on shelves for months. This heat destroys delicate vitamins and alters fats. A study in the Journal of Animal Science found that adding fresh vegetables to a dog's diet just 3 times a week reduced the risk of certain cancers significantly. That is not hype. That is science hidden in your fridge. You don't have to cook every meal from scratch, but simply adding a topper, some boiled chicken, a spoon of pumpkin, a few green beans can boost their health. It adds moisture. It adds life. Think of it like eating a salad with your dinner instead of just eating dry crackers. Of course, balance is key. Don't just give them table scraps full of grease and salt. But don't be afraid to share the good stuff. Fresh food is love in its purest form. This brings us to a mistake that is purely about hygiene, but it makes dogs sick every day. Mistake number 8 is not washing the food bowl. Be honest, do you wash your dog's bowl after every meal? Or do you just refill it? Most of us just refill it. It's just dog food, we think. But a study by the National Sanitation Foundation found that pet food bowls are the 4th germiest item in the entire house. They are dirtier than your toilet seat. When saliva mixes with leftover food crumbs and moisture, it creates a perfect breeding ground for bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, and even mold. This forms a slimy layer called biofilm. If you have ever felt slime on the bottom of the bowl, that is a colony of bacteria. Every time your dog eats from a dirty bowl, they are ingesting this bacteria. It can cause upset stomachs, diarrhea, and even infections that spread to you. The fix? Treat their bowl like your own plate. Wash it with hot, soapy water after every meal, or at least once a day. Stainless steel or ceramic bowls are best. Plastic scratches easily and holds on to germs. A clean bowl is a healthy gut. And finally, mistake number 9, the forgotten nutrient: water. We focus so much on food that we forget water is the most important nutrient of all. But here is the mistake: leaving water out for days or assuming toilet water is fine. Stagnant water collects dust, hair, and bacteria. And if you don't wash the water bowl, just like the food bowl, it becomes a petri dish. Furthermore, dehydration in dogs is subtle. By the time they have dry gums or sunken eyes, they are already in trouble. Also, consider where the water is. Do you only have one bowl in the kitchen? If you have a multi-story house or an older dog who finds it hard to walk, put water bowls everywhere. Make hydration easy. Fresh, cool, clean water should be available 24/7. It flushes toxins from their kidneys. It keeps their temperature regulated. It is the river of life flowing through them. Don't let it run dry. So now you see it. 9 simple mistakes hidden in plain sight. A single meal too large. A bowl that steals their curiosity. An extra scoop that weighs down their body. The wrong time, the wrong ingredients, the wrong food for their age. The fear of fresh food. The dirty bowl. The forgotten water. Each one may feel small, but together, they shape the life your dog lives. They determine the comfort of their stomach, the strength of their joints, and the light in their eyes. Dogs don't ask for much, just food, love, and time. And how we feed them is more than a routine. It is a message. Every meal whispers, "I see you. I care for you." I don't want you to look back one day and realize that the little things we ignored became the reason we lost time with them. Because time with our dogs is the most precious currency we will ever spend. And if these changes can give them even one more year at our side, one more walk, One more game of fetch? One more night with their head resting on your knee? Then isn't it worth it? So promise me this. Tomorrow, you will feed with new eyes, with intention, with love disguised as science. Because when you do, your dog doesn't just eat, they thrive. I want to hear from you. Please drop a comment below and tell me your dog's name. And be honest, which of these mistakes were you making? I was guilty of the one big meal for years. Let's support each other in doing better. And if you felt something today, if you learned one thing that could change your dog's life, don't let it end here. Hit subscribe, join our family, and let's keep discovering the hidden truths our dogs have been waiting for us to see. Together, we can give them the life they deserve.